Hello everyone, welcome back to my High Celebrities news channel. The story for today is not a bullet, not a bomb, not a knife can kill Tommy Shelby. Just as Aunt Polly always predicted, Tommy himself, Cillian Murphy, couldn't do it at the climax of Peaky Blinders, BBC One. Loading his gun with a bullet that bore his own name carved into it, he raised the muzzle to his head, and had a sudden vision of his dead daughter Ruby. Long story short, Ruby told him he wasn't dying from a brain tumor after all, and suicide was unnecessary. His fatal diagnosis was a lie fed to him by the fascist leader Oswald Mosley. She even, helpfully, pointed him to a newspaper that exposed the whole deception. Except, of course, it didn't. The charred news cutting, with a photo of the doctor with Mosley, Sam Claflin, and his duplicitous, oversexed wife Diana Amber Anderson, didn't explain why Tommy has been suffering hallucinations and violent epileptic fits. And even in a drama as soaked in the supernatural as this, isn't it a tiny bit too convenient to have the hero saved by a vision from beyond the grave? There is another, darker way to read that enigmatic final scene. Tommy stands in the doorway of his gypsy caravan, surrounded by photos of everyone he has lost, not just Polly and Ruby, but his wife Grace and brother John too. He raises the gun, his dead child materializes. In the final moments, we saw the caravan ablaze, an echo of the traditional Romany funeral, and Tommy, framed by the flames, riding away on a white horse. In a story so rich with enigmas and double meanings, it seems very plausible that Tommy is indeed dead by his own hand. The brief interlude with the newspaper and the doctor was a hallucination, and that was his departing spirit we glimpsed on horseback. There hasn't been a more ambiguous conclusion to a TV serial since the screen went black at the end of The Sopranos. The decisive answer might come when the long-promised Peaky Blinders movie is made. Perhaps it will bring the continuing adventures of T. Shelby, in which case he definitely won't be dead. Or perhaps it will center on his youngest brother Finn, Harry Curtin, and Duke Shelby, Conrad Khan, Tommy's illegitimate son, who has his father's psychopathic streak as well as his cut-glass looks. Duke kicked Finn out of the clan, after shooting the treacherous and cowardly Billy, Emmett J. Scanlon, between the eyes. Poor Billy had it coming. He's been one nervous squeak away from death in every scene he's ever featured in, since the first series. The feud between Finn and Duke could supply the next chapter, only creator Stephen Knight knows. The rest of us, as usual, are left guessing by Peaky Blinders. Neither was there any satisfactory answer to the riddle of that name. The show has heavily implied that it referred to the gang's penchant for sewing razor blades into the brims of their cloth caps. Swung in the fist, the cap became a slashing weapon. A documentary last month about the Birmingham mobsters who inspired the series pointed out how unlikely this was. Safety razors had not been invented, and cutthroat razors were the wrong shape. More likely, one historian suggested, that the thugs got their nickname by wearing their hats pulled low over one eye. In fact, the mystery is solved by a 1929 court report in the Daily Mail archives. This states the hoodlums wore caps with heavy iron plates in the brims, and used them to blind their victims with headbutts. The Mail's reporter noted that the gang's notoriety was so fearsome that Birmingham was known as the City of Dreadful Night. That name was apt for the Wild West shootout between Arthur Shelby, Paul Anderson, and the IRA, outside the Garrison pub. It began as a gunfight and ended like a World War I battlefield, with machine guns and mustard gas. Arthur was winged, hit in the arm, but his luxuriant banner of hair was fortunately untouched. If any harm had come to that, the barbers of Britain would be plunged into mourning. No one sported a short back and sides better than Arthur. His hair has inspired a million young men and women too, all adopting extravagant top knots on shaven skulls. A haircut that signified conformity and the lingering influence of national service, half a century ago, has become high fashion. Entirely because of Peaky Blinders, Arthur's soup strainer moustache never did catch on, chiefly because it made him look like his mouth was under attack from a drug-crazed hairbrush. The haircuts will be missed and so will the stylized Art Deco sets, the outrageous games with history, did Diana Mosley really proposition MPs for sex on the benches of the House of Commons, and the shamelessly sentimental dialogue. To family, said Tommy, raising a glass to the surviving Shelbys, sometimes it is shelter from the storm, sometimes it is the storm itself. That is all for today news. Please make sure to leave your comment and subscribe the channel below for more news update. Thank you for watching.